Welcome to This Explainer. I want you to think for just a second. What was your absolute favorite zoo animal when you were a kid? Or hey, maybe you still have one right now. Today, we're taking a super fun, structured journey through a family's highly educational day out at the city zoo. We're going to look at exactly how childhood imagination and playtime stack up against the awe-inspiring reality of seeing these incredible animals up close. Okay, let's dive right into this. Picture this. Before the family even knows they're going to the real zoo, the kids are locked in this intense, imaginative argument right in the middle of their living room. One child is absolutely convinced the lion is the king of the jungle and therefore obviously the strongest. But the other insists the elephant is bigger and stronger, even trying to prove the point by making some pretty funny, if kind of inaccurate, elephant noises. It's such a perfect example of how children visualize these creatures, relying entirely on play and imagination before they ever come face to face with the real deal.
Well, once mom drops the huge surprise that they're actually going to the real city zoo, the morning kicks into high gear. First off, the kids have to brush their teeth, with mom gently reminding them to slow down and actually do it properly, of course. Then there's the classic scramble to find shoes hidden under the bed. Next, it's time to get dressed, and they appropriately choose their absolute favorite animal shirts, specifically an awesome lion shirt. Finally, they hop into the car as eager little explorers. It really perfectly maps out that universal, chaotic, super excited countdown to a family adventure.
Now, grounding this whole adventure in reality for a second, they reach the ticket booth. Entry into the big city zoo costs exactly $30 for a family of 4, so that breaks down to 2 adults and 2 kids. It's a simple, real-world detail, but it bridges the gap between the crazy excitement of the car ride and their actual entry into this massive educational space. So, the very first animal encounter inside the gates, the monkeys. And Dad immediately has to play a little bit of crowd control, warning, be careful kids, don't get too close. Why? Because these monkeys are incredibly active today. I mean, they're jumping everywhere and playfully swinging from the trees. The kids are absolutely captivated by this display. They literally want to swing like monkeys themselves, completely drawn into the chaotic energy of the enclosure. Let's move on and see how this builds with our next section, Reaching High with Giraffes, a Dad's Goal. You know, it's important to note that it's not just the kids who have a favorite animal today. Dad specifically requested to see the giraffes first. Before they even got there, he was joking that maybe the giraffe's neck is so long it could see their house from the zoo. But standing right in front of this towering creature, it immediately turns into a real biological lesson. That long neck isn't for spying on neighborhoods. It's perfectly evolved to reach high leaves on tall trees. It's a direct visual observation that effortlessly turns a goofy dad joke into a really solid educational takeaway. Next up, they visit the heavyweights. And this brilliantly illustrates the elephant's most famous feature. The kids immediately notice the elephant's massive size and raw strength, but they focus specifically on its trunk. They actually witness 3 highly practical, real-world uses for it, taking up food, drinking water, and taking a shower. In fact, the elephant was actively giving itself a shower right in front of them, bringing that exact textbook definition to life in real time. How cool is that? Now, after all the excitement of the splashing elephants, the family walks over to the lion enclosure. And at first, the scene is remarkably peaceful. The supposed king of the jungle is fast asleep. The kids quietly observe its big paws and sharp teeth, realizing that even incredibly strong predators spend a huge portion of their daytime just resting. It's a quiet, almost majestic moment of observation, completely far removed from those loud roars they were practicing back in the living room. But then, the sleeping king starts to stir. A whisper literally ripples through the family. Is it going to wake up? The anticipation absolutely builds here. Remember, they've been debating who is stronger since before they even left the house, and now the creature is actually moving. They stay perfectly quiet, waiting on their tiptoes to see what happens next. Now, what's really interesting about this is the story it tells. Suddenly, the lion wakes up and lets out this massive, booming roar that echoes through the entire enclosure. It is a loud, thrilling, real-world audio experience that completely shuts down any lingering debate. Witnessing that raw power up close absolutely confirmed for the kids, without a shadow of a doubt, exactly why the lion holds the title of the king of the jungle. So as the family heads home from what they joyfully dubbed their best day ever, we see the real value of the trip. The crucial point here is the educational payoff. When asked on the ride home what they learned, the kids weren't just talking about their living room games anymore. They had concrete, practical facts derived entirely from their real-world experience.
They learned firsthand that lions are genuinely very strong animals, and they saw exactly how elephants used their trunks as multi-purpose tools for basically everything. It was just a wonderful day out that beautifully bridged the gap between childhood imagination and observable reality. Which brings us to our final thought for today. Just like this family's best day ever yielded some fantastic on-the-ground observations and practical knowledge, what new fact will you discover on your next zoo trip? The real world is absolutely full of fascinating structured lessons if we just take the time to observe. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep exploring.